Bandidos, we are live. What's crack-a-lackin'? It's Saturday, October 7th, and I see you guys in this chat, kicking back, ready to learn more about the Exuro gear set, the brand new gear set that was delivered for Season 2. If that's what you're here for, then you are in the right place.
Ready? Okay. Shh.
Bandidos, welcome in. It is Saturday, October 7th, and just past 6:15 from the Pacific Northwest. That's where I am. I don't know where you are, but it was a sunny, beautiful day here today, so I'm glad to be streaming. I'm in a good mood and ready to get down and dirty with the new gear set. So yeah, we've been delivered a new gear set for the season, as you would expect, and I haven't even really given it much time as we've been kind of heads in on that new incursion, and which has been a lot of fun figuring out, but it took a couple of days to get the hang of it. And so here we are back on routine to break into the new gear now. So that's where we're about probably for the remainder of the week, is breaking into the new gear and then reviewing the changes they made to some of the other gear. So I'm still working on my rewards track. So if you don't know, you need to go up here to check out where you are. I'm at level 48. And so I'm kind of streaming through this with you guys to try to get to the 80s, the upper 80s, basically, to get my hands on these other exotics. And so then we can do a full review on the new exotics, and we'll be doing a full review on the gear set and the new brand set. And then we'll also be making builds for these along the way as well, and seeing where they fit into our gameplay. So, okay. So let's take a look and let's peek at the chest piece. So it's called Exuro. That's probably what we'll end up calling this for sure, instead of Ortiz, I imagine. So Exuro, so we're going to increase burn duration. We get skill health along with that. So it's kind of a freebie they're kicking in there. So fine. And then we get 40% burn damage, excuse me, not duration. So we got burn duration, burn damage. So obviously fire, okay, obviously. And so when you run 4 pieces, you get this additional gear set talent, right? So Ortiz Incinerator Turret Prototype. So very specific language here. This is the first time we've seen anything like this in the Division 2. And I like where their head's at. I like that they're experimenting with new concepts here. So the incinerator turret spins 360 degrees. So you probably don't use incinerator turret very often. Not many people do. But this is definitely making it better, no doubt. So it's going to spin 360 days. And I know what you're thinking, but like, holy shit, I'm going to catch myself on fire. But this gear set will make you immune to your own incinerator turret. That's amazing. And your team is already immune. So your team is always immune to your damage, right? So you can't kill your teammate in PvE. So you don't have to worry about them. So now you can do that. And so basically this is a CC. It's a crowd control build that basically creates a line of defense. And then I haven't used this yet at all, so this is brand new to me. But according to Yannick in the live stream, when we basically revealed this stuff, he said that although the turret is spinning, it has a spin effect. He says that's just for effect. So apparently if anybody enters the zone, they're going to catch on fire. We'll test that. We'll see that. That's what he said, and I'm not sure if I'm translating what he said correctly. I don't know exactly what he meant, but it sounds like the turret is spinning, but it doesn't really matter. There's always a 360-degree wall of fire is basically what I'm understanding. We'll see. And so the incinerator turret explodes when disabled, so I guess just a nice little ad there. And then here's a chest piece bonus. So talent. Enemies set on fire by the Ortiz Incinerator Turret Prototype ignite other enemies within 10 meters. So it's kind of a chain effect. Kind of nice. kind of nice. It doesn't sound like that's something you have to have. And then the backpack. So 25% weapon damage to enemies set on fire. That's nice. Buy the Ortiz incinerator turret prototype. 25, but it's only to you. So that kind of sucks. 25% Ortiz incinerator turret prototype range. The range is going to be nice, I imagine. I don't know, but the 6 skill tier turret is already like loco. You know what I mean? So adding another 25% range, you may not need it. It depends on the content. So let's look at the turret. So I'm just running all 6 pieces here. I don't have a build on yet. I'm just kind of going with the flow here for a sec. So if we look at the turret, so this is it. The cooldown is 15 seconds. So the tier by tiers. Oh wait, that's the sniper turret. Hold on. They all look the same. There we go. Okay, so cooldown's 45 seconds. It's a long cooldown, actually. But 30-second duration with this. That's a short duration too, actually. To be honest with you. That's already got me. I mean, I don't got any mods on or anything like that, but the cooldown and the duration is actually pretty ugly. And I'm running the gear set, right? So with 6 skill tiers, you know what I mean? So I mean, that's already hurting my it's already hurting me here. Let's see here. So cooldown, duration. And so I imagine the cooldown might start when we have it deployed, which might make it an effective 15-second cooldown. So we'll see how that goes. Kind of like the traps, but I'm not sure. But if you go on a 45-second cooldown on a gear set that is completely built around the flame turret, that'd suck really bad, especially in legendary. So we'll see here. And so with each skill tier, you're getting damage, you're getting a cone angle, so that's going to waste. You're getting burn, strength, and duration. So that's crazy. So we've already peaked out the duration here. You know? What up, Soul? What's going on, Commander? What's up, bro? So yeah, so I mean, that's tier 6, you know what I mean? And the stats aren't that impressive on this thing. I think that needs to be cured, but we're not gonna do anything right now. We're just gonna go put it on and let's just see what this turret looks like. Let's understand it. And I literally need to understand it because I don't run this thing. You know, I've run it maybe like 2 or 3 times, maybe 3 or 4 times tops, since the beginning of the game. So think about that, you know? So that's why it's good to, I guess, for them to try to bubble this skill up to the surface, because nobody's using it, and you know, it could be pretty good, especially for defense. But look at that area of effect. Holy cow. I mean, look at that. That is a huge dealio. Okay, so let's see if we should still be able to turn it on and turn it off, right? So then you have to turn it on, and then we should be immune. And so I think so the spin is there, he says, by effect, but if any enemy walks into the radius, they're gonna catch on fire even if it's not pointing at them. And so notice I'm immune. So that's good. So let's pick this up. And what happens to cooldown? Ooh, it's a full cooldown. You see that? So that's 30 seconds, and that's because there was still some life left in it, but the cooldown is actually 45 seconds. So let's throw it out again. Oh my God, that's painful. That's painful. Look at that cooldown. What are we gonna do during that time? The whole thing is built around burn. I mean, obviously you're gonna run another burn skill, but like, damn, you know? Don't try to put on a reviver hive. Don't try to run a hybrid. Well, you can make yourself a healer too. Yeah, you should be able to get this set from the first like 15 levels. So let's turn this thing on. Yeah, so the first 15 levels of your every rewards track up here, it's like, yeah, you should just get it. You should just be getting it. And then also you can get it in the open world. So it comes pretty early. So not in level 5. It starts coming here, level 11. Okay, so it's about to die. Full 45-second cooldown. And it explodes when it goes on cooldown. That's cool. So you're gonna have to think about that with this build, right? You don't want to, whatever your other skill is, you want it to be what's keeping you alive. So you're gonna want this technically as your secondary skill. I mean, 45. I mean, that sucks. Because we want to create some really interesting builds with this. I mean, it's pretty linear. It's a run me with the turret, run me with fire chems. You know what I mean? And so increasing the range by 25%. So let's take that off. Okay. So let's take that off and see if we care about that 25%, because otherwise you're just getting 25% more damage to targets that are on fire. But I'm not sure I care about that, because the way I see this, I don't know if you guys see it, but I think it would be a good team build. You know what I mean? And so for me, this looks like the same radius. So I took off the backpack, okay? So we lost the 25%. So, but if you look at the radius, we'll put the backpack back on in a second. So let's put it right on the edge of this hash mark, okay? So like right there. So as you can see, it hits that car, right? It's right at the edge of that car. All right. So now let's put the backpack back on and see what it looks like now. So right on the edge of that. Not that much different. You see that? Not that much. I mean, it doesn't look like it's different at all. So now it's hitting the tree, though. Let's see if we hit the tree on this one. No, we don't. So, yeah, I mean, a little helpful, but I'm not sure backpacks give you a lot of flexibility, you know? So, I mean, there's so many fun things you can do with your backpack, right? You can run, for example, I was thinking, and I don't know yet, I haven't put together any build for this, but I was thinking the ninja bike could be cool with this one, you know, because that might open something up. Obviously the catharsis mask plus something else, you know. I haven't thought this through at all yet, so I'm brand new with you. We can do creeping death, right? I'm not sure that's gonna be super valuable. You want to keep this away. I mean, in my mind, you want to keep this away from anything near. And so that's going to be the struggle, because the question is, well, why don't I just run? This is the question of the day. And this is what we're going to keep asking ourselves on every configuration that we do. Well, why don't I just run Eclipse Protocol? Okay. And so that's what you do not want to say when you're running this build. I might as well just run Eclipse Protocol. I might as well just run, you know what I mean? That's exactly what you don't want to say when you run this build. And so if I look closely and try to interpret the devs, you know, language here, they're giving you damage down here. And so there's no team buff going on here. Holy shit. Was I on mute that whole time? Oh my God. How long was I on mute, guys? Just for a second or the whole time? Was I on mute the whole time? Somebody tell me if I was muted the whole time. Oh my God, I was muted the whole time. I'm so sorry, guys. I am so effing sorry. I didn't even notice I was on mute. Oh my God. How lame. So lame. So did you hear me talking about the range and stuff like that? Since it came back, basically. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Shit. Okay, where do I go back? I mean, a lot came out of my mouth. So a lot came out of my mouth. So I was basically saying that looking at this, yeah, basically there's no team buff. And so I'm trying to interpret what the devs want here. But what I was basically saying is like the biggest thing that we got to look out for, okay, is the fact that if you look at the skill here, that the cooldown is really bad, and so's the duration, and they gave us nothing there, right? So yeah, the devs, they didn't do anything with that. Why? Okay, you heard the turret range. So yeah, I was talking here about like if I hit. So this is with the backpack, right? So I'm running the backpack. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this on this dashed line right here. See this little dashed line right here, right on the edge there. And the marker that we want to see is it's gonna hit the car, and then with the extended backpack, how much beyond the car does it go? And so you can see the area of effect when you hold it. Right? Oops. I didn't mean to toss it. I'm sorry. Pick it up. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so you can see the area effects up, put the dot right on the edge there, and you can see this is with the backpack. Then we go beyond that tree. And so I'll turn it on for a second here just so we can see. So, but I'm not sure the animation really shows it, but it basically hits this tree, right? Just maybe a little bit beyond it. It basically goes to about right here. So, fine. And so what I was saying that it did, so I was determining if the backpack is worth it. That's what we're doing here. Is the backpack worth it? And you get 25% damage to targets on fire, but do we really want that? Do we really want that? I mean, I'm running a skill build here. You know what I mean? And so 25% weapon damage on a skill build. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I mean, it's not total weapon damage, so I assume it's not a multiplier there. That might be just additive damage. I mean, we'd have to test those numbers, but like, that's not that exciting, you know, and it's only when they're on fire by the turret. So they have to walk into your zone for you to get that damage. And I was saying that there's so many things that the backpack can bring to the table. They can bring Wicked, right? And so Wicked works on enemies that aren't on fire and that are also on fire. It's a little bit less, but it works on both types of enemies. You know, once it gets activated, it's activated. Anyways, so I'm seeing the real thing here is about that turret prototype range. So now we took off the backpack. Okay, so the range is going to shrink. And do we care? And look at that range difference. So it doesn't hit the tree, but it still hits the car and goes beyond the edge of the car, basically. It goes to the back side of the car, if you could see that, basically the passenger side. So, I mean, for me, like, if I were to make a hard choice on that backpack, I'd be cool without the backpack. You know? But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. But for me, that's that range, that additional range on something that is going to go on a cooldown and I'm not going to even have. Do you understand? So I'm going to have a backpack talent that's buffing something that's going to be on cooldown a lot. A 45-second cooldown is horrible, guys. Horrible. I mean, I don't run any skill that has a cooldown like that. I'm trying to think if I do. I don't. I mean, what's the... Yeah, not even the stickies have that kind of cooldown. You know what I mean? Like, that's a horrible cooldown. I mean, and so the thing is, you gotta time when you throw this thing out, right? You don't want to just be like, okay, I've arrived. I'm putting out my turret. Let's go. No, your duration is only 28 seconds. Now, what I don't know, actually, now that I think about it, is that duration start when you put it out, I would guess, or is that duration start when you turn it on? Now, my guess is it starts when you put it out there. But let's double check that real quick. Yeah, I mean, is it moving? It doesn't look like it is. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Okay. You know, I'm familiar with this turret. So you see what's going on there? So the 28 seconds of fire, that's what it's doing. It's not 28-second total duration. So that makes it not so bad. So you're going to want to turn it, you're going to want to manage it, you know? Turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. So that way your duration lasts longer. Otherwise, the duration's pretty bad, right? And so you got 30 seconds of fire. And so when the enemies come in the range, you kind of trick them, right? Kind of lure them in and then go. And they catch them on fire and then turn it off. You know, I mean, it's kind of annoying to have to manage it, but that's better than nothing, I guess. Okay. So the backpack, I'm not sure about. And then if I like that. Enemies set on fire by Ortiz Exuro turret prototype, ignite other enemies. That doesn't really sound that worth it to me either. Only 2 meters. It's a creeping death only for 2 meters. And so it's basically extending your range is what it's doing. You see that? So it's a range extender. So if this extends it by 25%, then this extends it by another 2 meters beyond that 25%. That's what the chest is doing. And so I don't see that as super valuable, except if you're going to run the vial mask, you're going to have to, you know? I'm not sure the vial mask is going to be good here, but, and I'll tell you why, but if you're going to run the vial mask, it's going to be forced into the backpack or the chest. Now, if I had to choose one, I'd probably choose the backpack. I mean, I'd probably go for the more damage, right? More damage and extension. It's better than that chest. If you're forced to choose one, the backpack, it seems to have a more interesting talent. I mean, I'm a fan of creeping death, but it's not that valuable. I mean, it's not bringing any additional damage here. It's just distracting enemies. And so... Okay, so let me put the fire turret on my left skill. And so the other question is, what would that other, I think we got to think this through. What would that other skill be? And what specialization do we run? Do we run firewall and run around with the flame turret? Flame, not turret, but the flame thrower? Do we run technician, get another skill tier? So firewall, let's look at that first. So we get the flamethrower, that's going to be strong, but there's also, I think there's one that burn duration is by another 20%. So I mean, that's cool, right? And then you also get that fire starter shotgun. Not that you're going to use that too often. It's kind of annoying to use, actually. But the 20% burn duration is pretty attractive. I mean, you got a lot of options. You could also go to survivalist for your team. And then your team would get additional damage to status affected targets. It's only 10%, but it's something. I kind of like the firewall idea, because I kind of like the additional duration of burn. Let me see what guns here. Probably not an SMG. Let's put the LMG on. Assault rifle, let's do those. Okay. And activate. One of the things we could do is an all status build. And so we could like run the St. Elmo's for the shock. And then we could run the fire. Then we have the ticks. What else? What would we need? Foam. So the other skill could be foam. We could also go capacitor, disorient. Let's see, but we got to figure out this other skill. And so fire makes the most sense. But I don't know about you guys, but when I'm using the fire cam, I'm pretty darn busy, and it's really hard to whip out my weapon. You know? Because I'm over here shooting chems and igniting chems and missing chems and then landing them and missing them and landing them. So we also have the burster, the demolisher, the blinder. It's kind of got a bad cooldown on it too. We had jammer pulse. And then we got the traps, the explosion, or the shock. That's a zonal play too, so I'm not sure I want to do too much in the zone. The stickies, they're kind of, you know, I'm thinking about that. I'm still thinking about that 45-second cooldown. So that we can't have two turrets. So the hives, not really anything there. I mean, if we ran technician, we could buff the skill. That might not be a bad idea. That might not be a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if we run technician and give it more duration because we're running that skill, the artificer, and give that thing some more life. So let's take off the heals. Let's put on damage, and then we run this artificer. That could be cool. Take off shotgun, put LMG on. Yeah, let's try that. Because, you know, it could be hard with all skill tiers running around with your flamethrower. You know what I mean? But if we do this, this might give this thing some extra life. And it also gives us a skill tier to have fun with. So that we can, you know, put on more weapon damage or armor or whatever we want. And then for the backpack, you know, we could run the memento and put on and get some 30% skill duration out of it, plus bonus armor and more weapon damage. And then get an armor core, an extra armor core there also. We could still look at the ninja bike. But let's go check this out and see what this does duration. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it just for visualization. And then let's throw this out. So it's also giving it a damage buff. So it's giving it damage. It's giving it health. It's giving it status effects. It's giving it duration. And it also gives you skill haste. We could run the BTSU gloves with that. And then overcharge it. What happens when you overcharge a turret? A fire turret. Overcharge. Plus 24 charges, charge efficiency. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. YOLO. This one. Okay. Overcharge. You get 60% damage. So the damage is the same. Wow. Exciting. Cone angle. We don't need a bigger angle because we got 360. Burn strength is the same. So we get nothing. We get 40% more duration though. and then 560 health. So the duration, we get more duration. All right. That might be worth it because you have overcharge every 60 seconds, right? And then it'd be interesting to try to get future with this too. So let's throw this out. So what you would do is you would throw this out, and then you would throw your skill out, and then you would crush it, and turn that bad boy on. And then you throw it out again so that it continues to get the buff. Sorry, I forgot to do that. I should have did that right away. That might be cool right there. Because you'd be able to do that a lot. Let's see, what is that? Once every 120 seconds for everybody else. I mean, the duration didn't look that much, though. It didn't look like it increased by that much, you know what I mean? But it's supposed to. No, let me look at it. But it went from 60 to, it was a 40% duration, so it's a percentage. I mean, we can put duration mods and all that stuff too, so it was a 40% duration. All the damage figures are the same, so overcharge is just for more duration. Yeah, you're right though, Dave. It is focusing the whole build on one trick, but if it was a really good trick, you know what I mean? And I'm not sure it is, but I'm just saying, but if it was a really good trick, then it would be worth it, right? Like if that flamethrower keeps all the enemies at bay and also distracted, then it could be really worth it. But if not, I don't know. We don't know yet. We're gonna have to use it. But the downside is it didn't really seem like that much. I mean, you know what I mean? And so 40% duration, I didn't even notice it. You would want to kind of notice it, you know? Like, wow, look at it. It's going forever. The wow effect part, you know? And so I'm wondering, can this, honestly, like, can this be a healer build? And that's where your BTSU gloves come in. And then you pop your hive, you're refreshing your friends' hives if they have them, otherwise overcharging their skills. And your skills getting the benefit from that too. Yeah, Costa's backpack could be cool. Fire grenades from that new chest piece would be great here, actually. Now that I think about it, wouldn't it? Because you're going to get burn duration and burn damage. So the grenades would pick up that damage. The survivalist grenades. That's the exotic you want to run with this. Am I wrong? That's your second skill or a third skill. You get unlimited. What is it? Every minute it gives you a grenade. I mean, and so when your turret goes on cooldown, you throw a bunch of grenades. That's the build. That's the build. Yeah, we wouldn't want to do this. I mean, I don't have that chest piece, so you know we'll put something together in the meantime. But that's the build. Because we're sitting here thinking about, okay, what's the other skill? What's the other skill? You get it? And then I'm like, oh well, you know, nothing's looking that appealing. I mean, we can run a drone and we could run a decoy and whatever, but it's just like, yeah, you know, they're not picking up that fire. And so I kind of like this. The problem with this is that if we run survivalist, you don't get the artificer. So it does have to be another skill. And so, I mean, not the artificer, basically. So you could do riot foam, you could do fire chem launchers. But I feel like the chem launcher is kind of a waste because if you can have unlimited grenades, basically, and I mean, they're not super unlimited, but they're partially unlimited. You know what I mean? Because they're on a timer, basically like tip a spear, but for the grenades. And so you kind of want to be shooting. I think the combination is you want the Iron Lung LMG, you want the new chest piece, 4-piece Ortiz, not the backpack. So you're going to be running Ortiz mask, gloves, knees, holster, and you're going to want to free up your chest. I'm just going to put 2 random things on like that. And then I think you're going to want to run survivalist. You want those grenades. Even Mad Bomber. I mean, we could run Mad Bomber for now until we get that chest piece, which I'll have in like a day or so. So like, let's give it a shotgun and put LMGs on. But Iron Lung would obviously make sense because it catches them on fire. And it's not a bad LMG. So something like that, and then what would I want to run into this? I'm hesitant on doing this, you know, and I know that's what everybody's going to go for. You know, I know everybody's gonna be like, well, fire cams, and it's okay, but you get so busy with it. What are you doing with your gun? And you're gonna have fire grenades, and you're gonna have a weapon that catches people on fire. I'm not sure you want to be spending a bunch of time with a chem launcher in your hand. I mean, I guess you could as a backup when all else fails. The sticky bomb's not bad because you could throw that out real fast. We need more skills. Nothing's appealing to me. You know what I mean? I guess I'll do the chems, and if I do the chems, I'm gonna want to put them on my right. So, I mean, because I just don't have anything else. I mean, nothing else is looking that great, you know? So we'll do that for now until we come up with a better idea. So we'll do burn strength. And then I'll take radius. Why do I only have 4 chems? I am running. Why is this his 3 skill tiers? Oh, that's right. Look, we need to fix this. Ortiz. Okay, and so let's figure out what chest and backpack we want to try this with. It probably does scar. It probably does. I think it would, yeah, it would basically, there's an upfront damage and then there's the damage over time from the fire skills. So they'd probably increase that upfront impact. Well, basically the time to kill. Faster time to kill. They should. I understand that they die pretty fast from this turret, so I'm looking forward to seeing that in action. Okay, so for the chest piece, we do have the perfectly mad bomber. We could start there. Oh, I don't like that chest piece. See if I got anything else. I might not have a good one yet. But otherwise, I think we'd want to look at. It depends on what direction you want to go. You can do more upfront damage, or you can more damage over time. And I think with this build, it's looking like a more upfront damage. So I would want to lean to something like Wyvern. You know, like something that's a straight skill damage. Otherwise, it'd be Golan. And then kinetic momentum would be good. It's 15%. It's not glass cannon, but it's a good chess piece for this kind of stuff. Oh, Henry, right? Henry, that's right. We'd also get companion if we ran Henry. So it's only your weapon. But Electric, either way, Electric is a good gear set. Oh, Brazos. Yeah. Ooh, Brazos cutting cooldowns with tag team. Yeah. Right? Right? Okay. We want that. We want that. You want it because that's our problem is the cooldown, the 45-second cooldown, right? And so if we run tag team, it's not damage, but at least it gets our shit back. You know what I mean? And so I could put a sticky bomb on the other one then, is what I would do. So I guess we can run this one. It's got the stats that we want, skill damage and status effects. And that's Brazos. And then we could run a second Brazos as the backpack to get an extra skill tier that would allow us to add armor or weapon damage. But if we don't want to run a second Brazos for the extra skill tier, we could just run a Memento or a Ninja Bike. But the Memento, if we ran the Ninja Bike, that unlocks the second skill tier there. And it also opens up another gear set piece, which is not a bad idea. You know what I mean? If you're not going to be, if you think about it, you don't, what would our other options be? We got Technician, we got Creeping Death, we have, oh, what's the other one I'm thinking of? There's Tech Support. I don't know if that'd be a good one here. That's what I meant, those Tech Support, not Technician. And so the thing is, though, I don't think that we'd want the Tech Support one. But there's also the other one I'm not thinking of, Combined Arms. Which is kind of appealing. I think Combined Arms would be interesting because it powers the fire up. I mean, there's also Calculated. And so if we decide to go into like Calculated and Tag Team, then you would want that other skill to be super consumable. You know what I mean? So that all that, because once the turret's out, it's not benefiting from the cooldown thing. I wouldn't probably do Calculated. But let me see if I have. So Wicked, if you want to do more damage to your gun, from your gun. Electrique doesn't work, unfortunately, unless you ran a different, the Lavassier. Unless you ran a different skill on the other one. Probably Combined Arms, I figure. Yeah, a drone for tag team could work. But also the sticky works pretty good on this. I'm just looking for a good backpack option here. I might not have one on this character. But the ninja's not bad. I'm just that, what would be more, it's that question. What would be more, what would we get from the ninja bike? Well, if for one, it frees up a slot, right? But what would we put in that slot? I guess we got like skill duration. Actually, that's not bad. A Murakami is not bad. Different stats, but that gives us skill duration. It also gives us repair skills, so that doesn't work. Langmill doesn't work because we don't need explosive resistance, but it frees up a slot. And so we'd want to think like, well, what would we pick up there? And the one thing that I could think of is a Wyvern, because a Wyvern would give us skill damage and status effects, and those are both the stats that we want. But if you were running the ninja bike, and this is kind of goes to that question we always ask when we put on the ninja bike is, do we really want to go for just more damage? Because whatever backpack talent we are not running potentially would give us more damage, such as Combined Arms, right? And so you could just run a fourth piece of Ortiz here and then run Golan with Combined Arms and you'd be better off, you see? So like whatever goes here has got to be unique enough. Like what if it was an Eclipse piece? Does an Eclipse piece make sense? Just one piece of Eclipse? What does that give us? I don't know because I don't have one here. Let me see. But Wyvern's good. So there's a Wyvern chest right there. You see that? Because Wyvern opens up both skill damage and status effects. So that's good. And Brazos is great. Because Brazos opens up a skill tier. And so that's your benefit, is you get a skill tier. So if I put the Wyvern here on the chest and we pick up both those stats and tag team, and then down here we put on a Picaro's holster, that's going to give us skill haste. We want that. Skill tier. We want that. And then we get extra weapon damage down there as well. So there's, and then down here we run the what would be the fourth piece of Ortiz. And then we have 6 skill tiers. There are probably more. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 skill tiers. So I could add another red core or an armor core. So that's kind of interesting. So let me just put on a blue core just to make sure. No, we can't lose Picaro's there. Yeah, so you could add another armor core, basically, or a damage core, whatever you want. Let's put that Picaro's back on. So that's an interesting build. And with this one, I would probably run the capacitor, because the capacitor is going to get, and I'd probably run a red core. Let me see if I have one on this, that flexible one. I'd probably run a weapon damage core. I don't think I have the piece for it. Crits. I could technically do this one with the skill haste. I could do that one. And then the gloves. We'd roll everything to skill damage is what I'm thinking. So yeah, I could add one more red core here, and that would be interesting. And then for mods, I'd probably put on skill haste. I'd probably want haste over duration. They don't... Let's see if we can get that cooldown really close. That'd be cool. To be the duration. So yeah, that's kind of interesting right there. I don't know if I'm going to like it yet, but I think the chest piece would be the way to go, to be honest with you, the new exotic chest piece. So now I see the opportunity to run it. And that's because if this gear set is buffing all your fire, that's a really easy fire to use. This grenade is really easy. And you could use the Acosa's backpack with this to get more grenades. It actually is basically unlimited grenades too. So let's go pick up a couple of pieces out there so we can make more builds. Yeah, I think I can craft. I think I can. I think I got the blueprints. Yeah, you know, Ahmed, that's a really, I was thinking about the vial mask. The deal is though, the vial, this is my opinion, but like the vial is really, I really like it. On skills that don't kill so fast, like Riot Foam, for example, or Pulses, where you kind of have this mass effect going. But I think this is more because it's zonal, and I don't know yet, so we'll try it. But this is kind of where I'm preliminary thinking, because this is so zonal, we don't really have a mass effect. So to run a vial mask, to a target that's only 1 or 2 targets that are on fire, you know what I mean? It seems like a waste of an exotic slot, you know, where, I mean, unless we run a pulse on the other side and pulse everybody, you know, and kind of pick up a mass effect, then yeah, that'd be cool. But naturally with status effects. But from what I've also seen, one of the other things to think about is from what I've also seen, these guys are dying pretty quick by this fire. I think that fire is pretty intense. Where's my biomask? Why isn't it over here? Weird. Okay. So I'm gonna be looking for, so here's a Golan option. We want that one. Yeah, but yeah, that mask is, and so when we run it, here's a Hannah one. We want to look at it like how much benefit are we actually getting from it, or are they just dying so fast that the ticks aren't really making a big impact? So we'll have to see. So we could look at the sacrifice, and so there's a sacrifice we'd look at. All right, and then you could do the Imperial Dynasty. No, that'd be redundant. You wouldn't want to do that, honestly. But this waveform would be interesting, wouldn't it? Except for the cooldown thing would be annoying. Then backpack. So we want the Acostas. So the Acostas get thrown a grenade, refunds it, and gives you a skill tier. So it's a free overcharge, but it's also sort of an unlimited grenade thing. Not like the chest piece, but because it's a little bit more on a timer cooldown. Yeah, Alexander, there's speedrunners, man. Yeah, there's speedrunners. Yeah, they'll do it in like 7 or 8 minutes. They're using the same tactics that they use when they speedrun other raids, and they just applying them to this raid. So this one will work really good. This is a great backpack. So we got status effects, skill haste, and then bloodsucker. We don't need bloodsucker, but that's a good option for a backpack there. The ideal stats, I think, would be status effects and skill damage. But more importantly, if the enemies end up dying really fast, then you don't want status effects. You want skill damage. Skill damage and skill haste. And I think they're going to be dying really fast. So here's perfect creeping death. It gives you headshot damage, which is kind of weird. All right. So there's that. So that was my backpack and chest lady. Let me see if I have the pyromaniac over here. Let's bring over the blue screen and see if that's interesting, right? So the disruptor rounds. And so you need to deploy a non-shield skill to get the effect. So that could be interesting for the other skill, you know? And then we're shooting all the time and disrupting things. That could be interesting, right? Is a crowd controller concept. And then we're going to want to bring the pyromaniac as well. I'm pretty sure I saved it for this, but I'm not finding it. Unless I deleted it again. Very possible. All right. I don't see it. Okay, let's go to my other character. Kind of careful. It's actually status effects. Think about status effects this way. Okay, so status effects is equivalent to the word duration for other skills. Duration. So status effects is duration. It's duration of the fire. And so which ends up being, that is damage because the fire is going longer, but it's damage over time. Skill damage. So when you add skill damage to your build, you're hitting that upfront fire damage. And then the burn, once they catch on fire, is status effects. And so if you want to kill them slow, and so there's nothing wrong. So if you go with either, so if you're going for a crowd control build, I mean, it depends on your set, right? But if you want to purely control the crowd, then you want to go all in on status effects. And what it's going to do is it's going to, it basically disrupts the enemy's focus, right? And keeps them running around like crazy with their head on fire for longer periods of time so your team can DPS them. Now, if you want to go with a skill damage status effect build that kills the enemy, then you want to go skill damage and it'll kill them really fast. So an example is Eclipse Protocol. You know, when you catch one guy on fire and then they die and then it spreads to the next guy and it spreads to the next guy. Now with Eclipse Protocol, it's kind of tricky, right? So you see a lot of people running skill damage and status effects also. And the reason why is because the status effects dissipate as it transfers, right? It doesn't transfer the full duration of that status, only a partial duration. I think it's 50%, if I remember on the top of my head. So the longer your upfront status effects is, and then the longer the back end status effects on transfer to the next enemy. So that's why you see a lot of status effects on Eclipse builds. It's not because you want to slow kill them, really. It's because when it spreads to the next enemy, you want it to be there long enough to actually kill them. But you need your fire to be strong enough to kill them in the first place, or it'll never transfer. And so that's why skill damage is pretty important in the end. But if you're running something like Riot Foam, then you need absolutely no skill damage. And a lot of Eclipse builds run Riot Foam. So that's why they probably have a lot of status effects too. And then if you're running the Vial Mask, just to add on to that, if you're running the Vial Mask, then you absolutely want to max out status effects, because the more status effects you have on your build, the stronger your Vial Mask talent, the ticks. Try this. Oh, that's an interesting test, Dave. We might be able to try it here, too. We'll try it both. Like setting the map to normal mode. I think the testing range should be able to pull it off, right? Because you can set it without changing your map. We'll do that. Let me just pull in a couple of gear pieces. And so I wanted to look at one piece. So if we're running the Ninja, one piece of Eclipse Protocol would give us 15% status effects. And man, it's not that exciting, is it? I mean, Golan gives you 10% on one piece. And then, you know what I mean? So it's not that big of an ad. I must have deleted my Pyromaniac again. Ongoing Directive is also 15% status effects. Not interesting. It's the same as Eclipse. I'm not sure that would be that appealing, though. So if you ran the Ninja, because you'd want to be able to have the flexibility to run whatever chest you want. Yeah, we'll try both, because all I have to do is change the secondary attribute. Since all the skill tiers, since it comes with pure skill tiers. Oh, I was just thinking about something. Like, let's try it. Let's go to the testing range, because we can't do it here. But I also want to try catching somebody on fire that's already on fire. So what do you guys think? Do you think that the devs intended this to be a build that will work solo and in group? Because it's designed really interestingly. There's no team buffs whatsoever. Yeah, Mass. The Eagle Bear is dropping from the crate. Yeah, at the end. Let me turn off my directives. And so that's kind of the hard part, like, I think when designing a new build for this. Because my inclination is to design a team build for this. You know what I mean? One that helps out the team. But I really do think... Yeah, the firm handshake. I know what you mean, bro. I really do think, though, that fire grenades are the perfect pair with this. Whatever you do for your other skill, fine. But I think you want to go fire grenades with this. So, you know, and I'm not really seeing a big benefit. I mean, this is a little helpful, but this isn't super helpful. I mean, I think I'd almost rather go for the Acosta's Go Bag, to be honest with you. And we'll see. We'll try it all. Don't worry. We'll try it all. We'll try the Vial Mask, whatever, but just up front, I'm seeing more value here because of the fire grenade thing. But once we get that new fire chest, the collector chest, I think that's amazing, because then when your skill goes on cooldown, you're just gonna be hucking grenades, and then when your skill's not on cooldown, you can be earning grenades, you know. And so that's pretty cool. And so and this is gonna put us on Overcharge, which is a little helpful. It's not super helpful on this thing, to be honest with you, but it's a little helpful. And then we'll need a fourth piece, so I'll go and run this back on. And then let's fix a couple of these stats that have repair skills on them. So we'll fix those, the gloves, the mask, and we'll leave the skill haste on there for now. Actually, let's go all in on status effects, and then we'll switch out to skill damage and see which we like better. Mass, appreciate that sub, man. Thank you for the 6 months in advance, too. It's really nice of you. Yeah, so this should be a really easy set to farm, too. So if you don't have all your pieces, you could probably get everything you need in 1 or 2 runs and countdown. Because it's all skill tiers, right? So status effects everywhere. And then probably change out the status effects, but I had some alternates too. Let me just see those before I re-roll that one. So if we wanted to go all status effects, we'd want that to be a golden chest with status effects on it. Handy, none of the other option, or electric. And I thought I had a golden. Pretty sure I did. Swear I brought that golden over. Swear I did. I mean, I swear I brought that golden over. Did I already grab it? And I'm just going crazy? I might be losing my mind. Maybe it was on the backpack. I swear it was a golden chest piece. It's okay. I mean, it's a little detail. Not a big deal. You can run. So there's the electric one. I remember that one. And there was a golden. It's annoying. I swear I brought it over. I don't know what's going on. Okay, fine. Fine, game. Fine. So let's just, we can leave it here. Skill damage isn't bad, but we could also go Hannah U. Skill damage is great, as a matter of fact, so it's just a little bit different. But I'm just trying to min-max here. All right. Yeah, that's annoying me, though. All right, let's change that to a status effects. The gear set chest? I'm not sure. That's an ignition. This is tag team. Oh, but you're saying just to not have any skill damage? I mean, I guess we can. Just do that. I don't use perfectly skilled too often, no. I think when I do use it, it's on an explosive build. All right. So I'm seeing, what is that? 188. Right? That was on armor, damage armor. And yeah, 188 on the armored guys. On the non-armored guys, when they lose their armor, you see it change because we don't have damage to armor. On the non-elites, I mean, on the non, so the red guys are their orange number. That's stronger. 293 up front. And then see where it changes colors when the armor's broken. So that's a faster kill. Oh my god. And targeted. And targeted. Only one guy's ticking. Get it up right on him, I guess. The chem is actually easier to test on because this thing is... Because you can see the chem has got that ignite. And then you can see that number. Because there's two numbers. There's the from burn and there's damage over time. So let me see if I can get this. $293. Does it cannon from there? It does. That's funny. It's a pretty wide burn. Let me reset it one more time. Yeah, I have they put on the capacitor. Okay, I'll do that. Let me reset this and put the capacitor in my hand. Get the damage to armor on there. 209, is that higher? Should be. Then it goes to 53. $328, yeah, that's higher. Okay, 328. And 209. Good enough. What's up, gentleman player? What's good, man? Yeah, I don't want to add the additional damage stacks from the capacitance. Because then you have to take into account stacks and kind of prolongs the testing. So we got status effects everywhere on this one. So now what we'll do is add skill damage. If we can remember those numbers. So 289 from the fire turret. It's not really the tick numbers that we really want. It's more about the time to kill. And so skill damage kills faster. I think that would be the way I'd want to go. But status effects might kill faster if it is indeed raising the damage higher than skill damage would. So we'll just see. There we go. Yeah, I'm running the Acosta's backpack at the moment. It's kind of a placeholder because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be running that exotic chest piece with this. Is that the same or different? It looks the same to me. Yeah, that's the same number right there too. Isn't it? So it's almost the same, but I think status effects helps more. So because we kill, I'm pretty sure, let me reset this again, but I'm pretty sure we killed in 2 chems with status effects and it just almost didn't kill, right? Yeah, but otherwise the numbers are the same. But I think status effects just gives you just a little bit more out of it. If this kills, then they're exactly the same. They're not. So that's the difference between status effects and skill damage, is that little bar right there. I'll test it one more time just to be sure. So I'll put back on status effects because I'm pretty sure 2 chems was killing them. It's like watching grass grow though. And different enemies take different levels of status effects, so keep that in mind. So bosses are a little bit more immune, for example. But with the capacitor, if you end up running the capacitor, that could be your skill damage buff, and then you could use your gear set for status effects. Or you can mix and match. Yeah, we don't have a lot of slots though, do we? Because it's a gear set. So yeah, I think ideally I would run both on the chest piece, except that I just don't have that chest piece right now. I got skill haste. We will have skill haste. But yeah, status effects, skill haste, both. So that is a little bit higher. 313, I think we were 305. So it's not a big difference, but status effects are a little bit higher. And that's probably why they're dying off of 2 chems. It's because it's a little bit stronger. Yeah. Okay, we'll go status effects. So I mean, it killed him. Oh, what's going on here? Was I running that the whole time? The hell? It's one of those days, apparently, huh? Armor regen. Either way, status effects is the way to go. We could see that right off the bat. So, Okay, so status effects. And then on your chest, I think ideally, now I'm going to eventually, like I said, I'm going to eventually run that exotic chest piece. But I think for now, probably the Wyvern, get the skill damage there. But if I had my goal in, which I don't know where it is apparently, I just went and got it and it didn't come. Golem would be the way to go. A golden Golem. All gold, Golem. And then you'd want skill damage and status effects, and then you got yourself a good little build. All right, so let's try this. We got triple fire, capacitor. You could also run the card, TDI card could be a good option. If you don't want to go all into skill tier. If you weren't running an exotic, you could also do the busy little bee to pick up a bunch of damage that way. So there we go. Let's do that. So I'm just running skill haste for the mods. See that? So you could also choose some skill duration too, but I find uptime would probably be more important for me. All right, let's go give this thing a whirl. Let's see if we can survive solo heroic with this thing. I think we can. Yeah, Rainier, like if I could, man, I would the only thing I'd run is headhunter builds all day, every day. I'd probably bore the hell out of you guys though. Lowest cooldown on a turret? I'm not quite sure. I mean, you can have no cooldown if you run rigor. So there's that. I'm not too worried about cooldowns on my regular turrets, if that's what you're asking, like the ballistic turrets, because they're only like 15, 16, 17 seconds in the end. But without like worrying about it too much. But I do have no skill haste, I mean, no cooldown builds. And they usually involve tag team. But when I run those builds, it's not for the turret. It's really not worth eliminating the cooldown on your turret unless you want. And if you're going to do that, just go rigor. Honestly, it's just rigor's not that bad. And that's exactly what it does. I mean, strong skill builds are really not that hard to make. It's just 6 skill tiers. That's it. That does most of the lifting for you. 6 skill tiers. You don't need to run a bunch of skill damage if you don't want to. You're strong at 6 skill tiers. And so Rigor's got 6 skill tiers. You know what I mean? So there you go. And so, but that's why hybrids are really good, because all you got to do is put on 6 skill tiers and you got yourself a really strong one. Okay, let's give her a test. Oops, I didn't mean to turn it on. Yeah, already did. Let me just kill myself.
Agent deceased.
So we started off on Overcharge, which is kind of cool, right? Because you can just huck your grenade to get that. Oh wait, no, I didn't. I used a chem, but I got to remember to do that then. Okay. You can start off on Overcharge. So here, I'll throw a grenade. Tag team is kicking in too, you see that? So turned it off. Oh, grenade. Ah. Oops. Give me an enemy to shoot. See how she caught on fire even though you can't see the flame? Kind of deceiving, isn't it? Yeah, we're gonna want that iron lung. And then the backpack would kind of be more interesting with the iron lung, right? Because you get 25% to more damage to targets on fire, and the iron lung catches people on fire. But I feel like I sure am using that chem a lot. I feel like it's more of a chem build than a fire turret build. And then in that case, why not just run Eclipse? Right? Because the gear set is really restricted. I mean, it gives you good burn damage, so no doubt that's helpful for. Oh, come on. How's that not getting you? That was like a perfect bank shot right there.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Need some armor on kill. This might even be bad. I mean, can you see what the problem is here? There's not enough enemies in the zone, and it's a zonal play, right? And you kind of got to wait for them to get in your zone. I mean, I don't think I need tag team. So there's that. The good news is you can turn it on and you can turn it off. That's pretty cool. You see, I don't know if you could tell that I'm doing that, but I am. So it's working, but I mean, you're gonna want to pick this thing up and pick, on the go a lot, because there's just not a lot of enemies in the zone. What are you gonna sit here all day and wait for somebody to walk in? And it matters because my whole goddamn build is built into the turret. That's why it matters. And look, I picked it up, and so now I don't even have it. Goes on cooldown. I mean, thank God for the Kens, but I really don't think I need tag team. I like that though. I like that you can turn it on, turn it off, but I'm not going to sit around and wait for somebody to enter a zone. You know what I mean? It's just. So I feel like I have to move to them a lot. And the problem with that is it's cooldown. So so I feel like the turret, I'm better off running rigor. Because that's what you got to do to keep this thing going. Now, for legendary, maybe it's different, right? For legendary, it's probably different because, or any mission really, right? Because you don't do a lot of moving, not too much moving. But look, what is my turret not doing right now? What is it not doing? Not doing anything but spinning on its axis. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? And like, so when you got a build that's focused on the fire turret to the point where it names the fire turret. You want that thing to be the primary source of damage on your build for the most part. And it's not that at all, right? It is not that at all. I like it though, but for open world stuff, it's you sure are doing a lot of management of this thing, you know? And so they need to eliminate the skill haste, the cooldown. That's what needs to change. Nothing's wrong with it, but it's just like, you know, it's a zonable. It's not like your ballistic turret that shoots across the field, right? I mean, so a ballistic turret build would do way more damage than this thing because this only works when somebody's in your zone. And so, and they're not all coming to your zone. They're going left and they're going right. And so you got to go to them, you know? It doesn't even crowd control all the time. You know, it is a crowd control piece, of course. It's like, oh, but it's only when they step to you, right? Where if I was running like Riot Foam or something, I could send it to them. You know, I could send that crowd control to them, and not always wait for them to come to me. You know what I mean? There's so many more skills that just, yeah. But if the cooldown wasn't there, then it would play. Then you could play that way. But you know, to pick it up and to go and cool down, and to pick it up to go and cool down, it's like, damn, you know. Like, I'm nerfing this thing because I'm constantly moving. And so, but if I'm not moving, nobody's on fire. Thank God I'm running another fire skill, you know? And so let's just imagine for a second that I have the LMG that catches them on fire. That's great. And then I have the chest piece that also catches on fire. That's great. So you can send fire to them. And so by doing that, you're getting the increased burn duration, and you're also getting the burn damage perks, but you're still not getting this fourth piece talent, you know? And so where it's all about this incinerator turret. And so why wouldn't I just run Eclipse Protocol instead? Because then at least when I kill one guy with fire, the rest of them catch on fire too, no matter what distance out they are from me, you know? And so even if I use the fire turret, it'll catch them on fire, kill one guy, and then spread to the others, which means I don't have to use as many grenades or chems, right? Really? The turret procs Ridgeways? That's crazy. I don't have that right now, but that's weird. Yeah, in a legendary mission, I could see this working. Because the rooms are small and you usually clear a room within a minute or two anyway, a couple of minutes anyways on average. So yeah, it really would work. I don't think I really need tag team though. So, which means kinetic momentum is probably a good place to go unless you wanted to run glass cannon. I don't really think the chest piece is that appealing. You could wear the Ortiz chest piece. As a matter of fact, let's do that. And then let's go ahead and move some things around. So we know Costas is a good one to go with. But let's go ahead and put on the Ortiz backpack. It's got skill damage, that's fine. And then let's go ahead and put on the vial. Okay, so let's see this thing in action with the vial mask. And then I'm going to put on skill haste again. There we go. All right, so simple swap. Let's see if I got the other damage talent though. Oh, good job, Destroyer. You passed it. Right on. That's, yeah, frustrating when you work so hard and you don't get the reward, right? And then you got to wait a whole nother week. Like, oh, but it is nice to giving us the guaranteed exotic. I mean, there's a guaranteed exotic. So at the very least, that game mode lives on because there's a guaranteed exotic. And that's pretty cool. You know, what if, and it's not real, it's from my perspective, playing it as many times as I have, it's not that different from a legendary and can be done way faster than your average legendary. And the enemies are definitely not as hard. The bosses are harder, but the enemies themselves aren't. So the regular ads. So, you know, you could, like, if you get proficient in that thing, you could be running that daily, you know? But once a week, you get a guaranteed exotic off of it. So it's like a legendary that way, right? It's kind of neat. I'm going to go ahead and change this chest piece because I don't need tag team. Well, we'll see after I change it. Run out of chems. There's the Golem. I swear, guys, that wasn't there a minute ago. What the heck? It's got tag team though. But that's the chest piece I would have wanted to run. I swear that wasn't there a minute ago. Okay, here's Electric with stat. Ooh, that's a perfect one. All right. I swear those weren't there, guys. We just looked. We got two different stashes? Because we were at the White House a minute ago? Is that why I didn't see it? What's going on? Okay, status effects skill damage. And we could run glass cannon. That's going to hurt though. On skill builds, I normally do that, but if I'm shooting a lot, what am I doing here? Recalling the chest piece, this one. So, but kinetic momentum is great on skill builds, so don't feel like you have to run glass cannon. It's just that kinetic momentum doesn't buff the vial mask, and glass cannon buffs the vial mask, so that's the difference. And then the backpack, let's change that to status effects since we're here. Because the status effects is going to help your vial mask. And then you would also want to run Demolitionist to get more out of your vial mask, but then you'd lose your fire grenades. Which I'm not using right now because I'm not running the Costas, so that's fine. All right, so there's Demolitionist. Cool. So that makes us, so let's look at, if you look at your concussion grenade, that'll tell you what your Demolition is. So 1.5. There we go. And then we'll put skill haste down here. Anybody want to run a legendary with me? Any legendary folk? Go give this a test. I think that's probably where it'll shine. Let's do District Union Arena. We don't have to finish it if you don't want to. Yeah, it works for heroic solo, but I think you're making your job a little bit harder than it needs to be. So we cleared it, you know what I mean? Like, and it worked, and it's kind of interesting and fun for a minute, but you know, There's better skill build. I mean, if you're looking for something that makes life easier, this is probably not it. It's fun to play with fire, though, isn't it? You know? So it's fun to play with fire, but it's not the most efficient way to clear content. So my game's open if anybody wants to come in here. That'd be helpful. But maybe, yeah, that's a good point where firewall. Yeah, firewall to burn duration. But with a good, I think, you know, with a decent DPS team, you know, they shouldn't be on fire too long, right? Because they should be dead. But I mean, the downside is you don't have anything against tech, and that's where it doesn't align with legendary. You know, because what are you gonna do? How are you're a skill build? How are you helping against the tanks? You're a skill build. How are you helping against the warhounds? You know, so. Well, I guess I can put on an EMP, and you'd probably want to do that to help with the Vile Mask anyways, in Mass Effect. But now what you've done is you've taken away the power of Exuro, because Exuro is all about burn and burn and burn. You know what I mean? So you still got a strong pulse because it's 6 skill tier. But boo, right? There's a misalignment here because you're dealing with tech. Not always, but I mean, you'd have to ask yourself that question. Should I just stick with my fire chem and worry about the NPCs? There's more of them than there is tech. Or do I pulse since I'm taking DPS away from the team to run a skill build? Should I run a pulse? Because that's what you're doing. So that's part of the question you're asking. So where you would otherwise be a DPS build, just if you just look at it from a standard setup, team setup configuration thing, you'd want the basic of any build is 4 DPS of any team is 4 DPS builds. That's like the basic setup, and then from there you tweak it based on what the content needs. And so legendary content for sure benefits from at least one skill build, or sometimes at the most one skill build, because the skill build can either crowd control, heal, or take aggro away from you using drones and turrets and get those hard to reach targets. But to stick in 2 skill builds sometimes weakens the team. That is still possible to do if the skill builds are strong, but it can weaken the team, because then you get a rush in your face or a piece of tech or something that the skill build doesn't do well. And DPS builds are pretty well rounded, right? They can kill anything, where skill builds are sometimes not as effective against this or not as effective against that. So when you come in here with a build that's going to take up that one skill build slot of a team, do you want it to be a fire skill? And maybe they didn't design this for legendary. Maybe they designed this for the incursion, you know? Chubbies, are you trying to get in here? And so, yeah, I don't know where this lives yet. I'm still a little confused by it, because I know I'm saying some of the same things twice here. So, but I'm looking at it. It's just like, okay, no team buffs, but it's creating a perimeter. So that helps the team. The perimeter is the team buff. Got it. But that also works for solo, but it's not that cool solo. So, you know what I mean? It's making it work harder for you. So making the job harder for yourself solo. So it's a team build, and the perimeter is the team buff. No regrets. What up, Zero? So, you know what I mean? So I'm still kind of figuring it out. Like, where does this live? But I think you don't want to break the synergy of your build. So even though you're running the vial, I think you're going to want to stick to fire all the way around. Now, if I had my fire grenades on right now, then that could be my third skill, or the second fire, and then I could keep the pulse. But I decided to buff the vial mass, so we're just going to go ahead and stick with this. Okay, while we're waiting, let's just see what we can do solo here. Now that we're gonna get overrun by the tanks, so I can already tell you. But if we are able to get in enough to kill these engineers, then maybe not. Look at that! Look at that gold burn right there. You seen him burn? You see him dying back there? Yeah, that's strong fire. It actually works pretty damn good in Legendary. I mean, that was an elite. He's down. And I think everybody else is too. I mean, who's fucking left? Oh, there's one. There's two. Now, I'm in cooldown though, so that sucks. I mean, I already did. The helicopter's already here, but here comes the tank. So I mean, that did pretty damn good. That's strong fire. It's definitely got a strong burn, and with the AOE, then yeah, it's pretty lethal. Yeah, you don't need much else for a team buff. You just need good placement and a good DPS team. See you later, Dave. Have a good night, man. Yeah, I think it's going to be survivalist too. But I think that that chest piece is going to be pretty good. The collector chest piece is going to be pretty cool with this. And I think the Iron Lung is also going to be cool. I think the Iron Lung is going to be worth it more than a capacitor. I think they made a complete gear set, exotic set kind of thing. I'm pretty sure. Exotic LMG, exotic chest piece. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. Because this fire is powerful. I don't need the capacitor. You know what I mean? They died so fast. I don't need the vial. It helped a little bit, you know? So I think we could put on fire, just turn that place into an inferno, you know? Yeah, I know I'm sad. Nobody's coming into play. Well, I'm not matchmaking. I guess I could do that. But the cooldown does suck. So, but I think, again, like I said, the fire grenades are going to fix that. So, and then the Iron Lung will help a little bit too. Yeah, but other than that, I would probably have to say, I mean, I think we all can see this from the surface. We did, yeah, good point. The waveform. I did bring the waveform. We haven't tested it yet, but the waveform is also good. I mean, the waveform has never been my favorite thing. But the truth is about the waveform is like this thing, the cooldown is a serious deal. So the waveform would be basically wasted. You know what I mean? When this thing goes on cooldown, and it's a serious cooldown at 40 seconds, you know. But it is an option. But we can get away without the vial. Based on the time to kill on that thing, we don't need the vial. So that's kind of cool, you know? Do you think this person's got the juice?
Another agent is
There's VL Jack. Nice. Kinetic doesn't work well with chems. What are our options there? We don't have a lot. I mean, I could run... I mean, tag team is kind of pointless because we kind of rarely run out of chems. I mean, it's glass cannon. That's basically it. All right, let's go. We can do this, Jack.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
So from here, I'm going to crush my skill just for skill management reasons and then let it go on cooldown. Oops. That's not what I wanted. You didn't catch on fire from that? What the fuck? There you go. The vial didn't turn on him either. Look at them all burn. Holy shit.
Serious trauma detected. Another agent has joined your group.
And then I could turn it off. Thanks for the bonus armor, whoever's doing that. God, those turrets are fucking after me, man. What's up? Leave me alone. See that cooldown right here? I mean, it's keeping me from running to... Already out of medkits. Here it comes. Yeah, Chunga just walked through that shit. Is he not catching on fire? Not for very long. He's pretty immune to that fire. The next one will be interesting. Not too helpful against Chungas. Really. But wow, what a good effect on the standard NPCs though. You just need an answer for the tech, really. You know what I mean? The tanks and shit. Like, but I'm pretty impressed on how it does just with all the other NPCs. Whatever color they wear. Gold, elite, doesn't matter. Veteran. I mean, it's pretty cool. All right. So I got my skill back. We're good. See how it goes. So I'm saving the fire now so I can turn it off. That was pretty cool. All right, here comes the next round. Try not to blow myself up with that shield guy. See, here's where I'm not gonna do good. Yeah, it's not armored up, that's for sure. But all the NPCs are gone, you see that? So that's cool. I mean, there's nobody left, just these chungas. Wow, those guys are really tanky. Holy shit. They're running so much armor, it's insane. It's cool though, whatever. But those chungas shouldn't have taken that long, right? They shouldn't have banging on them with their, what do you call it? Scorpios. No, the fire doesn't affect robots. Yeah, so no, you're pretty useless against those guys. Hold on, guys. Don't kill that last sniper. Don't kill that last sniper. This is cool. See rooms like this, so I'm like... I mean, because that team has no DPS, so we're doing all the damage here. I mean, not all of it, but we're doing the heavy lifting there, you know what I mean? But their Scorpios help and VLJack's buffing me, so that's pretty cool. What just happened there is the perfect use case. Small room, spawn kill. Now what's gonna happen upstairs, we're gonna come across these two dogs, but I can switch my skill, right? So, I'm still running 6 skill tiers, so what I'll do is I'll just run a pulse, but I'm a cooldown. See, stupid cooldowns. Yeah, firewall side armor would be okay, but I think in the end, I think I'm gonna end up running survivalist because I want those fire grenades. Oh, good pulse. I'll take the next pulse. I don't know what kind of build you're running, so. Sorry, you are running an EMP. All right, I'll change my skill back. Didn't realize you were on your A game. How dare you be on your A game? This is cool. So yeah, it's just a tech. I think that's the only downside of the build is just a tech. So You don't really have an answer for that unless you change your skill. And which is kind of a shame because it is probably more of a legendary setup than anything. I mean, watch this room clear. I mean, done. And I could turn it off, right? It's still alive. How's that red guy not dead back there? I swear, the field of depth. There, got him there. The good news about tech is you can use them to rack up your capacitor stacks. The iron lung is going to be sick with this. It's going to be great. Because it's also going to fill in the gap on the fire. You may see how it does on elevation. Prepare yourself.
System reactivated.
Look at him burn. And you turn it off. That's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. For legendary, that's pretty cool. I mean, talk about a quick ad clear. I mean, I got 2 tanks here that aren't doing much damage. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. And I'm hardly even shooting. It's all the fire doing that. It is pretty cool, I gotta say, for legendary. And that's setup. As long as you got an answer for the tech on the team. And yeah. Inside though, you know what I mean? Inside, so Capitol building, whatever. I mean, some of the other ones maybe, but like Roosevelt Island might be a little tough. It's a big area, you know. So I could turn it off, and that's going to spare me on the cooldown to use it only as you need it. Still, I would like that cooldown to be a little bit shorter, but whatever. Yeah, I was gonna run a Pyromaniac, but I didn't. I guess I deleted it again for the 100th time. But the capacitor I like because I rather have stronger skills, honestly, than just weapon damage. Because that's what the Pyromaniac would do, would be just weapon damage. I mean, the skills are strong. I'm not sure that the vial is doing a ton here, but it is being a little helpful. I mean, watch this shit happen. You can use it to ignite your fires. Look at that. No traps. No healing traps. You seen that? Catch them on fire and turn it off. Holy shit. It's pretty fucking good. I mean, look at the chaos it's raining. Turn it on, turn it off. I mean, holy shit, this is awesome. I mean, just chaos. Turn it on, turn it off. You know what I mean? I mean, look at how strong it is. And the reach. This guy way over here is on fire. We got a chunk on our flank though, huh? But I like that you can use it to ignite your chems too, so you can just shoot them out there. Now it's on cooldown, but we don't really need it. I mean, that made that first wave so easy. I'm not sure I've ever had it easier than that. We had no healing station. I mean, we've cleared this room really quickly. I'm not saying we haven't, but you know, it was always like, get that healing station guy quick, 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 quick. You know what I mean? And it was just key priority target kills and stuff like that. But this was just all like, just burn them out. They all burned, you know? Again, these guys aren't running any DPS. Let's look real quick what our team's running. So look at him. That's a pure tank build. VL Jack is probably running a support build. Eclipse, right on, VL. And then another pure tank build, right? So we have two status CC builds and two tank builds. And here we are halfway through Legendary. That's pretty interesting if you think about it. Oh, how did I take shock ammo? What the fuck was that?
Agent out of action.
How did I take shock ammo? A big ass shield, I keep hitting it.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Gotta take out that healing guy. The healing station guy. The healing station guy.
Serious trauma detected.
I'm out of skills, huh? There we go. Shields down. Nice. That's what you had to do. You have to take out those healing station guys. There you go. And that sniper back there too. How's that sniper not dead? How did both these guys just die? What just happened? How did they both die at the same time?
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Oh, I'm down.
Agent
Oh,
incapacitated.
it's up to Leonard.
Agent killed.
Leonard. I'm not running Gila. I'm running, I think I'm running Electric for the status effects.
Agent down.
Fuck, we're surrounded. Yeah. That was a good run, though. That was a good run for that team composition that was funky monkey. But we were just testing the build, and I'm absolutely impressed for this legendary content. Now, again, it is totally going to be content based on whether you like this build or not. Because you go out there in the control points, and like I said, you're kind of moving a lot, and it's too spread out. But yeah, my chest piece is electric, so I'm running status effects and skill damage and skill haste everywhere, basically. So full skill build. But I think in the end, you'd want survivalist here. And I'm not sure we really need this, but it's not hurting, so I'll leave it. And let me change this real quick. I mean, the reality is we should probably have more DPS on the field, you know? Because we need that time to kill to be faster. Those chungas are just alive too long. But it's pretty good. And so there's a little bit of a learning curve to it, you know, in a sense of like turn it off and turn it on and just don't let it run, because you know what? You can't catch them on fire twice. Toasty! Toasty! Look at them, they're gone. They're gone.
Agent down.
Oh, VL Jack, I didn't know you were over there. Sorry. Shit. Break my skill. There it is. Good. Good. Good job, guys. VL Jack, are you up, or do I gotta pick you up? I think you're up. I can hear their bodies cooking. Do you hear that? Do you guys know why some people's numbers are grayed out? That's new this season. You see how these two guys, their numbers are, you can't see them? I wonder why. Is that because they're not on my friends list? Is that why? All right, let's do this. Let him cook. Let him cook. How cool. Oh, cool. It is fun. Yeah, we tested out the skill damage versus status effects, and the status effects was killing better. The damage over time ended up being more impactful than the burst of fire damage. Oh, fuck.
Medical assistance needed.
I thought I got that sniper.
Agent incapacitated.
They're good. Holy shit. Cook them! Cook them! Okay, I don't have a pulse. Beware. Because I'm on cooldown everywhere. That's the only downside of this build, that it really is a thing. That cooldown, look at me. And so, if, you know, you'd have to wait at each checkpoint. Yeah, so we had tested that in the rain there. Chigai. Come on, there's no way I'm missing her. God, 3 chems on one enemy just because it...
Serious trauma detected. We got here pretty quick.
Yeah, I think you need Mad Bomber to cook grenades. Yeah, you basically just hold your grenade button. Otherwise, you can't cook them. Otherwise, you die. But I haven't tried since they gave us the new Mad Bomber, or since they gave us the grenade selection capability, actually. I was a little slow on getting that out there, and we got a healing station up. Just the chungas. Oops, that was too far. Puppeteer's Elite Patch. Yeah, I got explosive damage here. But yeah, I'm thinking about going back to Survivalist eventually here. Just kind of a testing run. God, how'd they get that healing station down so fast? Where's that healing station guy in the back there? Look at him, just dodging my fire. Bullshit. Got him. Okay, I'm just not gonna move. There you go. I know. I'm slow on my season pass. I know I need to keep chugging. I need to get to the 80. I need those exotics. Finish off this build. We'll create a couple of different versions. I think the vial is a fun little one too. this is working. Not much I would change for this setup, but the capacitor is an add. I mean, I don't know what else to run besides kinetic momentum. I mean, what do we got? You know, glass cannon, but I don't know. I think that'd scare a lot of people away. Incoming. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. But, you know, it's good. It's good it took for a turn. Because, yeah, Overwatch is a good idea, too. Yeah. Since I'm basically sticking to cover all the time. It's a good team buff, too. Plus, you get some damage out of it. Kinetics is nice because you don't have to worry about it. And it is definitely seems to be working. I mean, I'm not worried about my kill damage. My ability to kill. Now, this can be an interesting room. Right, because it's kind of spread out. So I'm basically going to have to drop the turret where the chungas come out. And then from there, use my chems. I could probably drop it down here at first. Really, that missed him? Really? You're accurate like that? Damn. Okay, then I'll destroy my turret. Get ready for the chungas. Hopefully I got enough time. See, that cooldown's a bitch. Oh, I don't have enough time. Fucking cooldown. We need to find a solution for that, man. I mean, that's a long cooldown. Miss my window of opportunity, and that's gonna happen a lot, you know? I mean, not necessarily in this mission, because this one's relatively predictable. Most of the rooms will work for this, but in other rooms, you know? In other missions, I should say. So it's being blocked because of that placement. So that sucks. Good job. It's good to know it does need line of sight. It's not just gonna be fired through walls. I don't know what you were expecting, Tux, but no, no, no. Yeah, it's funny how something like 45 seconds can really feel like a lifetime, you know? So the bots are immune, but there's somebody down there catching on fire. See that? Something's immune and something's not. Where's the guy not immune? It's weird. Oh, you know what it is? It's the impact of the fire. So the warhounds are taking damage from the impact of the fire. So watch this. There's only one guy left. You see that? So he's not taking the burn, but he's taking the weapon or the skill damage version. Does that make sense? The skill damage part of the fire they're taking. So yeah, you can't catch bots on or hurt them with fire. Not gonna do much though. Up 40,000. Right on, you finally beat the incursion. Good. Glad to hear more people saying those words. Yeah, calculated kills from cover. Yeah, it's such a sacrifice though, you know what I mean? Like
Bad mistake, dumbass.
here we go, let's clear the room. This is gonna make some missions go really fast. I can't get that. I can't get it. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna have to go and cool down. Oh, I forgot about the explosion part. I think that's gonna be really hard to use that strategically. It's just an added effect. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Darren. Yeah, I kind of get that status effect. Additional damage to targets with status effects going for you too. Okay, give me a couple of seconds here. This room should be amazing, I gotta say. Let's see how it goes. I mean, talk about controlling a room. This is one of the worst rooms, and this is a really good use case. Fingers crossed this goes well. Those drones are gonna come right from you. I feel like the flamethrower is taking out the drones though. Does that look like that's what's happening to you too? I can't tell. I don't know if that's me or one of the other guys doing something, but I saw that earlier and I just... Gotta find this last drone lady. I don't know where she is. Can't see shit. How did she not catch on fire right there? It was like right on her fucking body. Fuck that. Oh my god, this tank is raping me. What is that about? So weird. Okay, let me destroy it actually. So I need to go on cooldown here. The angles in this room suck, right? Like you can't even see them, but they can see you. It's horrible. God, those drones are following me, man. Nope, not there, not there. The fuck, drone?
Assistance needed.
Those drones keep coming after me, man. Fuck. There's a one drone lady, I can't find her. And when I shoot at her, she doesn't... So you can still control that thing when you're down. So you can turn it on and off. That might be a bad thing for PvP. Still getting hit by drones. All my medkits have gone to that fucking gold drone lady. Way in the back. Immune. I don't know where she is. She's back there somewhere. It's causing hell. There she is. I mean, I can't get her. There, finally. Jesus. Yeah, I think my turret is taking out those drones. Have you seen it? They went down. One of them did. There they all go. Wow, took out that grenade, or is he hitting him bad? He's probably just shooting him bad. That took a little longer than it needed to. And too many armor kits. Three armor kits back. Padow. Nice. Is that a word? Boom shakalaka. Is it? Yeah, it does seem to be doing that, huh? Yeah. It's like a little, what do you call it? A little iron curtain. I'm not healing up. It shows somebody's still alive, that's why. So it activates Vile on them too. Which is saying that the game is saying that they're taking status effects, because Vile wouldn't activate if that wasn't the case. So they're not catching on fire, but it does activate Vile. That's interesting.
System disrupted.
That's good. That's good, because at the very least, you put damage over time for your team, and then that also means if you're running survivalists, they'll take additional status effect damage. Trying to not get disabled. Try not to get hit by the chungas in the back. Really helpful. Good ad control. This will do great in the new incursion. Don't you think? I mean, for ad control. Don't come over here. Don't come over here. Thank God for the capacitor. That it takes damage from all those skill tiers, you know? So what are we going to do with the boss here? Huh. I mean, everybody else is pretty self-explanatory, but the boss... probably going to have to change my skills. We'll see. Oops. Got the snipers up there. You see that? Ah, fuck you, guy.
An agent needs assistance.
Displace, displace! I think I can get the whole second wave up here, right? Hold on. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Are you seeing that? Everybody in the stadium. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my God. Oh, here we go again. Look. Holy shit, that's strong, huh? Okay, I gotta go save myself here. It's a great set. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's definitely CC, you know, and the team buff is all there for you in this form of CC purely. Yeah.
I'm sending out the drone.
We don't want that medic drone up here. Let me get this out one last time just to finish these guys up, I guess.
I got you.
Two medics. That's annoying. Jesus.
An agent needs assistance. Immediate medical assistance needed. Agent
Oh, fuck.
agent vital signs.
Nightmare. I don't know if I killed myself. It didn't say I killed myself, but it looked like I did.
Agent down.
I'll fix you up, don't worry.
An agent needs assistance.
Yeah, Kuzane, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be. It's gonna be like a variation of this build, and I don't have it yet. Otherwise, I'd totally be running it. Yes, because when your skill's on cooldown, you want an alternate source of fire, basically. And the reason why is because you're rolled into fire damage and duration. So we do want. So the Iron Lung and even the new chest called the Collector are actually gonna be really nice additions to this build to fill in the gaps. So for when that skill's on cooldown, the chem's doing pretty good. The chem's doing pretty good, and so you know, it just depends on which way you want to go, because the capacitor is doing a good job buffing the fire. So, you know, it's just going to be a variation of the build. One's not necessarily going to be better than the other. It's going to be like, do you want to put out more fire using the iron lung, or do you want to have stronger fire using the capacitor? Because the capacitor is giving you more skill damage, right? Cooldown. Fuck. Missed that. Missed that too? Screw you guys. Oh my god, how did that not hit her? Chems are really frustrating. They can miss a lot, you know, wasting a lot of them. Gotta get those medics, huh? See ya. Out of skills. Good timing. He doesn't like me. He doesn't like me. He doesn't like me. Get him or not? What the?
Serious trauma detected.
Fuck! I might as well be wearing glass cannon.
Down.
Oh.
Vital signs 0.
If I just stayed in cover, huh, guys? I know. I know. I gotta move. Good job, VL Jack. Thank you. Always there for a brother. Coming into clutch. All right, so I'm gonna demolish this fucker, and then as soon as my chems come back. I gotta get to that backpack. You could also just switch to the Scorpio here and disrupt him, which is this guy's doing a pretty good job of. I have a bad angle. Backpack's broken, so he's headshots now. Yeah, he's going down. I don't need to change skills. Exotic! It never happens! It never happens! It's a big horn. I'll drop it for these guys. Sure they could. One of them probably needs it. All right, let's see what it did damage-wise. 108 kills. Wow. Not bad. Not bad. So VLJack was running a CC build, so he's foaming, so he wasn't really doing the kill thing. And Leno, I think Leonada is a tank, and I'm not sure what Chubby's was wearing. Somebody shoot me? Oh, maybe it was Leonada. Ooh, that's a good one. Skill duration, skill damage. Yeah, I'll take that one. Thank you, sir. That could be a good alt. Skill duration on the backpack, right? So that's the setup, and it works wonderful. You know, you're just gonna have the cooldown thing, and you're just gonna have to. It's really pacing out the skill. That's the only challenge. You know, there's no perfect. Nothing's perfect out there, and that's this thing's weakness is that you got to deal with that skill cooldown. And so I think, honestly, with the whether you throw into LMG to catch people on fire in the meantime, that's probably what I'll do. But, you know, I'm not super impressed with kinetic momentum. It's definitely helping. But we could just as easily go with that new exotic chest piece and then toss a grenade. It's just a matter of, do you want to do that or do you want to run the vial? You know, that's the thing. And so that's going to be like for the ultimate build, it's going to be like, that's the choice. Is it the Iron Lung, collector chest piece combo, or is it the capacitor vial combo, or is it the Iron Lung vial combo? That could be pretty cool. You know what I mean? Or the capacitor collector combo. So it's a mix and match, but none of the chest piece talents seem to be super amazing, but I'm not complaining either. You know what I mean? Like, but the only thing I'm complaining is the cooldown thing. But like, I mean, and you see how fast the checkpoints go, you know, so you only got one cooldown usually, and per checkpoint in a legendary checkpoint. So to roll your whole build into, you know, mitigating the cooldown would be a big sacrifice when you only have one cooldown per checkpoint. You know what I mean? So like tag team would even be tough in here because the skills, there's some rooms where the skill has no cooldown. And so you sacrifice your whole chest piece to the cooldown thing. And then there's rooms that you don't even have a cooldown, you know? So it's tough to mitigate that. You know, and then you throw on too much skill haste on your build and you get diminished returns. But that, because that could be the other way, is just throwing more skill haste on the rest of your build. But it doesn't always pay back. Only up to a degree. And so like 3 or 4 skill haste mods is about as good as it gets. Cool. Yeah, so let's go ahead back to the yeah, and then there's the firewall thing, but that grenade's, I mean, that shotgun's a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? We were testing with it, right? A couple of weeks back, and it's just like, oh, how do you fit that into your play style? It's like you got to be pretty darn close, and then its timers also really fast, the time of effect. So then you got to, you know, switch out, and then you got a long reload on that thing. So then you got to reload it so you can stow it. You know, you don't want to stow it and then reload it later. You know, the cooldown is so short on it, you're going to want to use it all the time. So it ends up being your primary weapon with a bad reload and really close. And you can only hit one target with it. So, but it would be good for bosses. Like for a boss or a chunga. I would say that's for sure. But I think it's just, I mean, I guess it depends. Like if you don't need survivalist. But yeah, I think that demolition is a waste. I don't think you need to debuff the biomask. The biomask is a sideshow here. It really is. I mean, that fire is so strong in clearing rooms that like the vial is definitely a sideshow. You don't have to have the vial. But but it does help kill them a little bit faster. It gives a couple of ticks in that few seconds it takes to kill them. So, but yeah, so notice I have the TDI card as a backup here if you need to pick up an extra skill tier. But you could probably get rid of the vial if you wanted to, and that frees up your exotic slot. I mean, you're killing so much, you can almost wear the memento. Probably get, I mean, we got 108 kills. We could probably get our trophies up pretty good. It increases the range, yeah. But this isn't bad. I mean, it's honestly like, I know the vial is usually like best in slot on status effect builds, but I think that the fire turret and its range is so big, you don't really need that additional range. I mean, it's nice. It's a nice to have. The backpack is a nice to have, but I don't think it's going to be mandatory. And if it wasn't, you know, creeping death could be cool for the bigger areas. You know what I mean? Like where you got a bigger room. But we were mostly able to hit everybody with that turret. But that was running the backpack, so I'm sure it was helping, but good placement gets most of it. Skill kills increase total skill damage. Now, I have a problem with that one. I mean, that might be good. The thing is that you clear a whole room so fast that it's like, it's kind of killing everybody at the same time, I guess is mostly my point. However, it could help with the next wave and a multiple wave scenario. Yeah, this is probably good backpack, I bet you, because I'm also using the chems, you know? Yeah, Kuzane, I'm thinking of that too. Technician specialization is good. Yeah, there's probably, I'll just be frank here with you guys. There's probably no wrong answer with this, with this gear set. It's strong, survive, and it's all about placement and skill management. Turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. You can make the duration last the entire checkpoint on most checkpoints. On most checkpoints, but not all of them. Now, it's going to depend on your team composition, because if your team doesn't have the DPS, Chuffy's just waving. Hey, Chuffy's. He must be on the stream. But like, he's funny. So if you don't have if your team doesn't have the DPS, then that's when your turret starts to, like, you're overworking your turret, right? But that's out of your control. But even though fire isn't effective on tech, I didn't feel like I wasn't contributing. I mean, you're taking care of all the ads. At the very least, your team should be able to take out the tech. But we were keeping many of those drones at bay, destroying entire waves. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna whisper, but it feels a little overpowered. I mean, to clear entire rooms like we did like that, I mean, but it's got a limited use case, so it's only inside, indoors, outdoors. It's going to depend on you spawn killing. Solo, it's not going to be much of a solo build. You're pretty squishy with all these skill tiers. One of the things we'll test out in the future is what if we just got rid of all the skill tiers? And because what does skill tiers do? They do add burn duration, right? Burn strength duration. It's only 10% duration though. That's not very much, per skill tier. 10% duration, that's low. 10% damage, you're not using the cone angle, and who cares about skill health for the most part, right? It matters, but not when they're on fire. When they're on fire, they're not fucking shooting at it. You know what I mean? Right? Right? If they're close enough to shoot at it, they're on fire. So, I mean, I don't think skill health is really an issue with this thing. Did you guys ever see this thing get shot to death? No. It usually timed out before that. So really, the damage, if you lost the damage and the burn strength and the duration, which are only 10% increases, you know, not the end of the world. So I guess what I'm saying is, like, it'd be interesting to see, to reverse the hybrid on this thing, pump in some damage, a bunch of damage on it, you know, like even crits, like even running chest gun crits, and just use the fire as literally a CC, you know what I mean? So you run the gear set and then you CC them and then you burn them down with really good DPS, you know? You know, maybe not that or something, but, you know, you could run the backpack so you get that 25% damage and then the extension of the fire. Oh, Chubby Fish, you are on stream. Right on, man. That was fun. I'm glad you jumped in. Good one, good one. Oh, yeah, we didn't get to try the blue screen, but yeah, we brought it. We got it. So let's take a look at the blue screen. So let's test this because I'm curious if deploying counts as activating. You know what I mean?
We apologize for the inconvenience.
Turning on, turning off. So let's deploy. Turn it off. Okay. Oh, they're too squishy. All right. So we're gonna build some stacks. Mark everybody, right? All right, turn it on. No, it doesn't work. So by taking them off, it did. But so you have to deploy. So which is fine. It's just gonna be your other skill, right? So you're gonna mark. There's your stacks. And so it's gonna be your other skill. Yeah, so that worked. So you can still use a blue screen for sure, but it's gonna be a skill. I'm just not sure you have to. I think you, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I wonder what would be better, blue screen or the iron lung, you know? Because the thing about the blue screen is shooting enemy marks that enemy and adds a stack to blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's a lot of shots out to get an effect. And it's going to help your vial, so you can activate the vial if you're running that. I would run it. If I was running this, I'd run the vial. But it's not picking up any benefit from the fire. And so I think with the LMG, since you're the other LMG, the Iron Lung, since you're catching them on fire, you're going to get that additional damage to fire targets set on fire right there, even when your turret's not activated, you know, because your LMG is going to also catch them on fire. So, but they both work. This one's more of a kind of a synergistic from the status effect perspective from this. And I think it would be cool, especially where its use case really comes in handy, is the targets outside of the fire range. You can apply that status effect to them also. And see that? So it activated his disorientation there. That's where it would be cool, because, you know, but the fire run from the Iron Lung would do that too. Yeah. Yeah, just whatever way you want to go. I do like the Iron Lung better, though, just from LMG to LMG perspective, build aside, because you don't have to think about it. It's just point and shoot. You don't have to worry about whatever skill you're running. That's always nice. Yeah, there are a lot of ways you can go with this thing. Yeah. Oh, there's the Pyromaniac. I think this one just dropped the other day, actually. It's the second one. So 25% weapon damage to burning enemies, you know. But
You are no longer in a group.
that is a multiplicative damage, right? So that type of damage, it's amp damage. So, but what's better, right? 25% damage or 7.5% damage times 6, right? Because you get 7.5 damage plus 60%. The capacitor is a better weapon, right? They don't have to be on fire to get the additional 7.5 times 6. What is that? %45 damage. You see, that's 45% damage. This is 25%. And it's the Pyromaniac does have a bigger mag, but the capacitor has a bigger base damage. Pyromaniac has greater RPMs, but Pyromaniac has capacitor has the best damage to armor on any assault rifle. Super nice. And a better reload. It's a better gun. I don't think you'd want to do the Pyromaniac. You know, it's a double-edged sword, the capacitor. And it's a better weapon. And they don't have to be on fire to get that 45% damage. Yeah, I don't think you're going to want to run the Pyromaniac. Pyromaniac still is going to be dated here. Even then, and then you also have the Perfect in Sync one, right? Oh, did I bring that along? I might have left that in my other one. There it is, the test subject. Even that's better. That's 40% weapon damage and skill damage. But this one's not all the time because the skill's got to activate. And if your skill's on cooldown, then you're not getting that. So the capacitor's better than the test subject also for this fire setup that I'm running right now. But try it. It'll be interesting to try the mechanical animal. I don't have high hopes for it because you got to get kills and you're running an all skill build and you got to figure out how to put damage. That means you'd have to add damage to it to get it to work. So anyways, we'll save this for now and then we will modify it when I unlock those other exotics. Let's see. Exuro. I'm pleased though, guys. I'm pleased. You know, I mean, it's not a global game changer. It's not, you know what I mean? For all content, it's going to be really applicable to certain content and amazing in there. In District Union Arena, Capitol building, amazing. The zoo, I mean, probably not. But Tidal Basin, a lot of those areas are actually pretty tight. They are outdoors, but they're pretty compact and corridor feeling. But in the end, you got a lot of warhounds, don't you? In the very end, it's almost pure warhounds, if I remember right. But either way, so some content, it's going to be like, holy shit, it's the best build to run in this mission flat out on a team setup. Like, and it's so much easier than the chems. You just place it and just watch them all burn. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I love the Glory Days, Darren. Yeah, we did. We tried it the other day, actually. I was planning on making another, an off-meta build for it. It's a really good gun. It is. To talk about stability. And I'm a fan of the P416. I think it's a good assault rifle. I like it. I'm always torn between it and the police M4. Oh, I always end up going with the police M4. But yeah, it's right there behind it for me. A little harder hitting. But yeah, so, you know, I think that's what's gonna... But it's a nice, I guess, let me put it this way. It's a nice addition to our gear sets. It stands out. It's different. We can finally use the fire turret in a way that feels absolutely amazing. It buffs the team. It protects your team. It takes, it does a good job of doing the CC effect. But I wouldn't use it for just any mission. although it would work, and it would work, but it'd be a lot of pressure on your placement and getting to that zone so that you can place it. Like, for example, let's say a helicopter is going to drop in Tidal Basin, and so you get it right below that helicopter. The problem with that is that picking it up and moving it and picking it up and moving it will put it on these cooldowns, and those cooldowns, you know, will leave you pretty limited in what damage you're going to be able to put out on those longer checkpoints. So that's the only thing, you know, but you can use it everywhere. You can be an ace with this thing and be Johnny on the spot with that turret. But ad control, I'm curious to see this in the incursion. You know, wow. I mean, it's not going to save you from laser turrets or mortars, but that big wide spread is going to catch everybody on fire. Yeah. All right. I'm yawning. Bad sign. All right, everybody. Well, cool. I hope you guys had fun, and I hope you learned something. I did. So we'll try this out a little bit more. Let's see. How far along are we? 51. So I got to get 29 levels. Okay. I'll try to do that tomorrow. And then we'll continue this. And then we'll also be playing around with the new gear set. Langmo, and we got a couple of perfects to take a look at. I'm super excited about Mad Bomber, but the backpack is looking pretty cool. So we'll do a build lab on that, and then I'm gonna be working on videos for the most part tomorrow, so I can drop some early week, so Monday, Tuesday, and then also be working on the gamer music playlist for everybody in the Players Club. So I'll be working on that throughout the week, and then more build labs, and I'll be publishing the builds along the way. Okay, so I'll get this Ortiz build out, this Exuro build out, and we'll have a second version too. And then with the exotics, so we'll have an A and a B. And then as we figure out the explosive resistance builds, we'll get some of those out too. No, thank you, Grumpy. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for holding down the fort, all y'all. All right, everybody, have a good night. Have a good rest of your weekend if I don't see you tomorrow, which I probably won't. And then I will catch you on Monday, though. All right, everybody, have a good one.